It's time for another gear updates video. Nothing broke since my last update, but I got a few new items. I have one that I want to give an honorable mention to because it's holding up very, very well. And I also have one item where I would need your help with. And I know that many of you are asking, so all the links are again then in the description. The first things that I got new is I just was in Munich for a few months for a house sit, and I visited a MUJI store for the very first time. And they have lots of nice travel things, and I picked up a few options that I wanted to show you. I picked up their foldable hairbrush. As you can see, it's very small, but you can unfold it and then it has a full handle. So once my other hairbrush dies, I will start using this one and then I will report back how it went. I also got a few of their containers. I picked the smallest size they had. They're very easy to refill because they have a large opening. And I specifically bought them to always have a little bit of hand lotion for me to carry in my purse. And for that, these containers have been great. I honestly regret that I did not pick up more and also a few of their larger sizes, but I will do so the next time when I get back. The next thing is something that my husband bought. He bought this very, very tiny sewing kit for him to take along on our trips. And it has everything inside that you would need. It has some yarn, it has very tiny scissors, it has needles, so he's very happy with his purchase. The next new item that both my husband and I added to our kit is a new foldable backpack. And as you know, I am a big fan of the nano bags, the grocery bags. I have two that I travel and use in my daily life since a few years now that I enjoy very much. But they recently released a new product, so I had to buy one. And their new product is a day bag. So it has almost the same size as the grocery bag, but inside is actually a fully foldable backpack, even with a zipper. So I'm still amazed on how they would fit a backpack with a zipper into a pouch this small. I have not tested it for hiking yet, but we really enjoyed using it in Munich because we had a supermarket in walking distance and we would regularly use the backpack to carry home some bottles of water and also some good Bavarian beers. It was quite comfortable to carry, even with the kind of heavy weight that we put inside. You have to watch out a little bit how you put the things inside the bags, so nothing pokes into your bag, but the carry comfort was really comfortable. Surprisingly comfortable for the size. So there are no other compartments or bottle holders or anything on this bag. It's just very simple, but I think it's great to just have it in the bag at all times because it's so small. The next thing I got a few months ago already is another backpack. And as you know, I don't do sponsored reviews and I usually say no to 99.999% of the things that people want to send me to test. But for this bag, I made an exception. So this one is the DeFi It One bag. So I got this bag sent for free, but my opinion, as always, is my own. So there are 3 reasons why I said yes to this bag. Reason number 1 is that I have a trip coming up where I will be traveling with a personal item only, and I wanted to test out a few options before that. Reason number 2 is the weight, because it only weighs 570 grams. And the third reason why I liked it is because there are no unnecessary details on the bag. As you know, I am not the biggest fan of like large admin panels or separated, very padded laptop pockets, because I don't have the right gear to put there. I really like it because they kind of boiled it down to the essentials, but to the useful essentials, if it makes sense. So it's a very simple bag, but everything that I need is there. So the inside of the bag is not only very bright, it also has a minimal amount of organization. So there is a very small zippered compartment up here, but there is also a laptop sleeve inside. And I like very much that it's not one of those huge, bulky, very padded compartments with its own zippers and stuff. It's just one small sleeve in there. I found it a very nice place to just put my iPad in there, and it was not very bulky, but still protective. And there is also a small hidden compartment on the outside, and it also has 2 bottle holders, which, as you know, is something that I love very much. The bottle holders are not big, but my Grail Ultra Press, which is kind of my benchmark for a bottle, because that's what I travel with, is a tight fit, but it fits in there. They say the bag is 20 liters, but with the roll top, you can extend the amount to 27 liters. That was the first bag that I tested that has a roll top, and I have to say that I found it surprisingly useful. I mean, I still have a tendency to prefer a zipper, but if I needed more space, I found this very useful. So I know that was a lot of positive things about this bag, but honestly, I just think it's a very well designed bag. It's also waterproof, and it feels like they really thought about how they want their perfect bag to be. And I like the way how they reduced it to the essentials, but made it a very comfortable bag. So if I would have to complain about one thing, then it's probably the color of the inside. It's not my favorite color, but it is nice to see my things in there. So it's a very minor complaint. The next new thing that I got is a new travel keyboard, and that's from Logitech. It's the Keys to Go 2. If you watched a few of my older videos, I already own the Keys to Go 1 in that case for a few years now. And I always brought them along when I was traveling just with my iPad mini. The only thing I disliked about the old model was the way the keys felt when typing, so it was not the best experience. And that's the reason why I was thinking for a while to switch to a different keyboard, and I was eyeing this model for a while because it has kind of like normal keys that you can press, and I finally found a good Amazon warehouse deal, so I bought it at a reasonable price. And currently I'm in Italy for 2 months, and this is the only keyboard that I brought for all my devices, so I did not even bring my Magic Keyboard with me. So my devices are 2 iPads and my phone. And I like very much that with this keyboard I can very quickly switch between those 3 devices, so I can just type on whatever I want. And it's just so much nicer to type on this one than on the prior version. Another thing that I like very much is that it has a cover integrated, so I can easily pack it and just throw it into my bag and don't have to worry about it. And it's also very lightweight, so I think it only weighs 220 grams. One thing that worries me a little bit though is the batteries, because Logitech for one reason decided to not make this rechargeable with USB-C or something, but instead it put 2 CR2032 batteries inside. And what I find a little bit difficult for a travel keyboard is that you need Torx screwdrivers to open it. And honestly, I'm not gonna start to travel with screwdrivers as well, just to change the batteries on my keyboard. So I'm a little bit worried that my keyboard will die in the wrong moment. On the other hand, the battery is supposed to last for 3 years, even though they did not say how many hours per day you were supposed to use it to get to those 3 years. And there's also no way really to find out how much battery you have left. There is only this small LED here, and it is usually green, but once it starts to blink red, then you have less than 5% of battery left. But 5% of 3 years are still 50-something days, so that would maybe give me enough time to figure out how to change those batteries. But let's see, and I will report back. The next thing that I bought is something for my car, and I got myself a new car charger. I used to have a very old one that I purchased decades ago, and it was very, very slow. So I wanted to buy a new one, and I found this one from Anker on sale recently. So this charger is a very, very powerful one. It has 167.5 watts. And there's 3 ports on here. There's one USB-C port that can charge with up to 100 watts, a second one with up to 45 watts, and a normal USB-A charger that can do 22.5 watts. So I decided to go with this charger because we have a 7-week camping trip coming up, and I thought that when we're driving, which we'll do every other day, we can quickly charge up all our devices. And also, I want to pair this one with a powerful power bank that can recharge with 100 watts. Yes, I already bought a new power bank. But I thought that when we just drive an hour or so every day or every other day, we should have enough power to get us through the day with all our devices. And I will show you in the next gear update which power bank I picked. To me, that seemed more practical than dealing with solar panels and stuff. At least I'm trying to talk myself out of buying one. The next item that I bought is surprisingly a new pouch. And As you know, my filming gear for making these YouTube videos is getting more and more minimal. And for more than 1 year now, I have only been using my iPhone with a few accessories to make my videos. So I wanted to find a small pouch that is protective, but fits those few accessories inside without any wasted space. And I had a very hard time finding a small pouch like that until I came across this one from Small Rig. And as you can see, it's very small and narrow, and inside is just one small bucket. It used to come with 3 dividers, but I removed them. But when I play a little bit of Tetris, it fits all my filming gear like a glove. So what I have in there is a tripod, as unlikely as it sounds, and I will show this one to you next. I have my fake glasses in there. I have my microphones. I have the small monitor that I use to see myself when I use the back cameras. And I have my light with me. The only thing from the light is that I had to remove this diffuser part. So I'm testing at the moment how it goes without. The only thing I'm not so sure about this bag is this bulky handle, especially with this silicone part. Unfortunately, the silicone part is melted to the handle, so I would have to remove the whole handle. But at the moment, I'm still thinking if I should do that or not. My husband also got one of those pouches because it fits the Insta360 camera very nicely inside. And I'm just very happy that I found this small pouch, because packing something like this in my bag is much easier than a bulkier camera cube. And as I said, I also got myself a new tripod. It folds down very small when not in use, and to my amazement, it fit inside my small camera gear pouch. It's a very simple tripod. It has MagSafe, so I can just connect my phone to it. And I like very much that the ring is magnetic on both sides, so I can also use it to attach my little monitor that I use to see myself when I use the back cameras on that thing as well. It is not the highest tripod, but I usually just put it on a few books, but there is also a screw there that I could attach it to any other tripod. And one thing I like very much is that MagSafe ring is also a carabiner. So I can hook it onto my backpack or on my belt loops or something and have it quickly accessible when I need it when filming outdoors. The next item is something that I enjoyed traveling with for years now, and it's working so well that I just wanted to give it an honorable mention here. And that is my JBL speaker. This thing has been holding up extremely well. We purchased it 4 or 5 years ago. And actually it was in one of my first gear videos where I talked about my favorites that I have that cost less than 50 euros. By now all the decoration fell off. So these parts that are now shiny black used to have some extra silicone stuff on them. They're all gone now, but that thing just keeps working. And I think it does not have an easy life with us being tossed in and out of bags and thrown around all the time, but I really enjoy it, and I hope it stays with us for a while longer. And the last item I want to talk about is something that I'm actually looking for. Because since a few months now, I am the proud owners of one of those mouth guards that you need to wear at night. And when I got it, I asked my dentist for a travel-friendly case for it, and he said that he has one that is very suitable for travel. And when I got it, it had like the size of a coconut, a pink coconut. So huge. So as you can guess, this travel-friendly container is not really travel-friendly enough for me. So at the moment I'm transporting it in one of those candy tins, but obviously there is still a lot of wasted space around it. So I'm looking for a better solution to transport that thing, and any advice or suggestions would be greatly appreciated. So if you like this video and you don't want to miss any of the next gear updates videos, then consider subscribing to my monthly newsletter or to this channel, and maybe leave me a like. That would make me very happy, as always. And other than that, thanks very much for watching, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye!